Among the many Christian denominations and religious groups, the Catholic Church remains special in many ways. In ordaining only men, she shares a practice with the Orthodox churches, which is rooted in theological tradition and doctrine as old as the Church herself. Why is this the case? And will there ever be a change within the Church, allowing women to be part of the clergy, as many Protestant denominations, such as the Anglicans, the Lutherans, and Methodists do? Let's explore the historical context and the Church's perspectives on exclusive male ordination. The First Council of Nicaea in 325 officially declared that female deacons were not to be regarded as ordained ministers. The explanation behind this decision was that female deacons did not undergo the sacramental laying on of hands, leading the council to categorize them as laypersons within the ecclesiastical structure. The Church Fathers, including Irenaeus, Tertullian, Hippolytus, Epiphanius, John Chrysostom, and Augustine, collectively affirmed the theological standpoint that the priestly ordination of women was impossible in the Church. The Catholic Church affirms the doctrine of Apostolic Succession, which involves passing on the tradition and mission of the apostles through the laying on of hands at the sacrament of holy orders. Every Catholic bishop, priest, and deacon stands in a 2,000-year-old tradition of laying on of hands, which goes directly back to the apostles. The Church sees this tradition as an essential and unchanging pillar of her identity and doctrine. Throughout the 1980s and early 1990s, there was a noticeable rise in calls for change within the Catholic hierarchy. The Women's Ordination Conference, founded in 1975, was a prominent advocate for the ordination of women in the Catholic Church during this period. Their mission aimed at fostering what they called a more inclusive priesthood. Another relevant group within this movement was Call to Action, a Catholic organization founded in the United States dedicated to advocating for so-called progressive changes within the Church. During the 1990s, the group actively promoted women's ordination, alongside other initiatives aimed at social reform within the Church. In 1994, the Catholic Church formally addressed the issue. Pope John Paul II wrote an apostolic letter called Ordinatio Sacerdotalis to the faithful to explain and declare a decision on this issue. It explains that Christ chose those whom he willed, and he did so in union with God the Father through the Holy Spirit after having spent the night in prayer. The Church has always acknowledged Jesus' way of acting in choosing the 12 men whom he made the foundation of his Church. These men did not receive only a function which could be exercised by any member of the Church. They were specifically and intimately associated with the mission of Jesus Christ, the incarnate Word himself. The apostles did the same when they chose fellow workers, who were men who would succeed them in their ministry. The document then explains how Mary, the Blessed Virgin, Mother of God, and Mother of the Church, received neither the mission of the apostles nor the ministerial priesthood. This clearly shows that the non-admission of women to priestly ordination cannot mean that women are of lesser dignity. There is no discrimination of women in reserving the priesthood to men. Rather, it is to be seen as the faithful observance of the wise plan of the Lord of the universe. However, the role of women in the Church remains absolutely necessary and irreplaceable. The document states that the Church desires that Catholic women should become fully aware of the greatness of their mission. Their role is of capital importance both for the renewal and humanization of society and for the rediscovery of the true face of the Church. The New Testament gives evidence of the presence of women in the Church as true disciples, witnesses to Christ in family and society, and in total consecration to the service of God and of the gospel. Under the greatest holy martyrs are many called women. They are virgins and mothers of families who bravely witness to their faith and pass on the Church's faith and tradition by bringing up their children in the spirit of the gospel. The document ends with John Paul II's words, "I declare that the Church has no authority whatsoever to confer priestly ordination on women, and that this judgment is to be definitively held by all the Church's faithful." But is this teaching set in stone? Can the teaching on women's ordination change in the future, as some liberal and progressive Christians hope for it? The question of whether the teaching on women's ordination can change in the future was answered in October 1995. Responding to inquiries and doubts, the Congregation for the Doctrine of the Faith asserted, explicitly sanctioned by Pope John Paul II, that the doctrine outlined in the document had been set forth infallibly by the ordinary and universal magisterium. Consequently, it was declared to be held definitively as belonging to the deposit of faith. This declaration effectively places the teaching that women are not to be ordained into the priesthood within the realm of papal infallibility. It emphasizes the Church's inability to alter this teaching, indicating that it is not a matter of human preference, but is bound by the authority given to the Church by Christ himself. Embracing this traditional teaching is a way to honor and preserve the sacredness of the priesthood, as defined by God's plan for the Church. It is not just a matter of obedience, but an acknowledgement that certain roles within the Church are divinely ordained. In this perspective, adhering to the male-only priesthood is not just a matter of ecclesiastical law, but a faithful response to God's design, fostering unity and continuity within the Church. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much. God bless.